Hello, 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 everyone. It is Nakia Maname coming to you this evening, and I am so excited to be here with you tonight, today, this afternoon, this evening, whenever you are watching or catching this live, catching this replay. I want you to know that I am grateful to be here. I'm not going to hold you long. I just really wanted to come and share a little bit of my story with you about my experience with my father. If if you have followed me for any certain length of time, you know that my father committed suicide when I was 17 years old. And so that experience with my father's death was quite interesting to say the least. And you say, Nikia, how can you say your father committing suicide was interesting? Well, it took my life on a journey that most people um, found it difficult or challenging to survive. And I really want to express to you how important, first and foremost, it is to take care of your mental health. Uh, my father was diagnosed with schizophrenia and he was severely depressed. And he had struggled with these issues for a few years. He was seeing a counselor, he was taking medication, he was doing all of the things that you should do in the natural. And I believe he was even praying. However, this demonic hold took a grasp of him, and I just believe he couldn't come out of it. And so, after years of going through all of this, I finally come to the realization that I had to forgive my father. And so, I want to just share with you on what fatherhood has looked like for Nikia. What did that look like for me growing up? My father was a great dad. He was present in our lives. Even after him and my mom separated, he still did what a father was supposed to do to the best of his ability. And so it was when his mental health began to take a turn, it was very hard to watch him deteriorate in that area because he was a very lively, upbeat, cheerful, playful type of guy. And to see him not really exist in himself anymore. And I'll say that again. He really wasn't existing in himself anymore. It was as if he was a shell and he wasn't present anymore. And so that was hard for his family to watch, his children to watch, his friends and those. And for the most part, he actually covered it up very well because most people didn't even realize that he was going through this magnitude of mental health. And so I say all of this to say to you that because of this experience in my life, it really took me on a turn to where there were often times I doubted and I didn't believe that I would still be here. I thought I would do the same thing my father did because life happened. I struggled with mental health and depression and those things myself, anxiousness. And, it's like, God, am I going to do what my father did? But I thank God for my father's experience. And you say, Nikia, your dad killed himself. Yes, he did. And I hate that because I wish today that he was here to enjoy his family. However, he is not. He made a decision, and I had to learn to accept his decision. It wasn't mine. It wasn't my decision to do this. And I can't say where he was mentally in his head. So I don't know the ins and outs of where his state of mind. So I say that I am grateful for the experience. Why? Because that experience brought me closer to God. It brought me closer to know who I was, to actually seek out and understand who Nikia was and the things that I liked and I did not like, and the things that triggered some of those dormant areas in my life. It was very important for me to understand that I had to really, really work on the kid and evaluate her, or the enemy was going to do the same things with me. My father's death had brought about me having insecurities and lack of trust and doubt in myself. I really struggled with a lot of issues in the beginning. Shame, because you feel like you've done something wrong and you take on the shame of that. I know at the first year or so, I couldn't even voice that my father had committed suicide. It was so embarrassing to say that my dad had taken his life. But you know what? I am not ashamed anymore. I am not insecure anymore. I thank God. I thank God because it was truly a daily walk. It was a lifestyle that I had to apply. There were times that I had to talk myself out of places. I remember there was a time I was really going through some things in my marriage, going through some things just in life, in my family, and I didn't know what to do. And you guys, I was ready to give up. I literally, in my mind, I was like, okay, so if I do this is before Angel. I was like, so if I do this, if I take this truck and I drive it in this ditch over here, and I'm going to do the right time, and I've literally thought this out. I'm gonna drive in this ditch head on. I'm going to die on impact, and nobody won't find my body until in the morning, and so it won't be a chance for me to survive this. My mom and my ex-husband, my husband at the time and his parents, they will raise Eric and he'll be fine. And I won't have to deal with life anymore. See, that's what the enemy does to you. He isolates you. He plays on your emotions. He wants to make you quit before time. But I thank God that what my father's death did for me, it was made me realize who I was and my purpose, and know that I had to live for something greater. I had to come to the understanding that Nikia, life is not about you. That it is bigger than what you're dealing with on your day to day. It's bigger than what your challenges are. It's bigger than your marriages and your children. Life is bigger than the things that you face. And so I thank God that He brought me through that place. He healed me inside and out. And I pray for anybody that is going through those type of challenges, that's dealing with mental health on a daily basis, that's not sure of when they wake up in the morning if it's going to be their last day. I pray for you, and I encourage you to run to somebody that can give you a word, that can pray with you, that can encourage you to be stronger. Get the medicine if you need the medicine to get clarity, to get your functions, uh, uh, your mental capacity back to the place where it needs to be. Do not suffer alone. Do not suffer alone. Do not allow the enemy to isolate you. Because what he does, he tells you nobody loves you, nobody cares. It won't even matter if you're not here anymore. So why don't you go ahead on and kill yourself? That is a lie from the pits of hell. Me, myself, and my brothers still to this day have to address the things that happened with my father. My baby brother and my baby sister were very young when my dad left, and so for them, it's they didn't get the experience that my older brother and I have. However, they still missed out on having a father present in their life. For was so dynamic about the whole situation at the age of 17 for me was not only did my father commit suicide and leave, but my stepfather at the a week after his death decided he didn't want to be married to my mother anymore, and so he left my mother with 5 children to raise. And so these experiences with me as men in my life that were supposed to be fathers, my image was men leave. All men leave. And so I built up an exterior. I built up a wall that I couldn't trust men. And I wasn't going to allow them to come in too close because what happens? They all leave. They were going to um, get so far in and then they were going to bounce. But you know what, you guys? You know what? That was a lie. All men do not leave. That very mindset played a part, a big issue, or one of the reasons why my first marriage did not sustain itself. There were several things, but that was one of the things that we challenged because I did not and was not able to give my all. Why? Because I was afraid that he would get so close and then he would be. I would pour out everything into him and then he was going to give me the deuces. I didn't give him the chance to prove. I didn't give him the chance to be. I didn't give him the chance to do anything because why? I pulled my guards up. So I say to you, man, woman, boy, girl, whoever is watching this, whoever is catching the replay, uh, don't allow your life experiences with your father. Ladies, ladies, hear me. Don't allow the things that your father, your earthly father did to you, cause you not to become the woman that God has destined and created you to be. Don't allow it. Why? Because you have a destiny. You have a purpose. You have a reason that God created you. Do not abort your mission. Do not leave your journey before time, before schedule. You have a job to do. And so I say that my father's death for me, my stepdad walking out on my mom, for me, all that did was draw me closer to God. And for that, I am grateful. Yes, was it painful? Yes, it was. Was it shameful? It was in the beginning. Was it hard to bear some days? Yes, it was in the beginning. But it got easier and it got easier. Yes, when I look at my children, sometimes I say, oh my God, Dad would really enjoy them. I watch a movie and I'm like, oh, that was his favorite movie. I haven't forgotten my father. I love him. However, I have to go on with my life and I have to live because why? I'm left here. And when Earl and Alice came together, they created a kid, and God knew from the foundations of the earth that I was created for purpose. I was created to be something great. I'd be doggone if I allow the enemy to take me out of here before schedule. So my father's death brought me close to my heavenly father. My father's death allowed me to look within myself to know who I am and whose I am. My father's death allowed me to pursue life in its fullness. My father's death allowed me to be great. Am I where I want to be? No, but I will not give up until I attain my greatness, until I obtain the success that God has achieved, has placed in my path for me. Will I stop? No, I will not stop until every man, woman, boy, and girl that is meant to hear my voice. I will not stop until that very thing has come to pass. My father left me here for a reason, and that reason I'm going to fulfill that thing. So I encourage you today, man, woman, boy, or girl, whatever life has brought to you, look at it, examine it, and learn from it. Don't allow it to be a crutch. Don't allow it to be a stumbling block to you. You get up, you shake the dust off, and you keep moving. You don't stay in that dark place. You don't stay in that place of challenge. You don't stay in that crooked road. You make a decision that you're going to move forward. Make a decision that I choose to forgive, that I choose to live. Make a decision today. Why? Because your life and somebody else's life is depend on it. Life is not about you. So what I want you to do is say, I will live and not die to declare the works of the Lord. I will live and not die to declare the works of the Lord. From this day forward, I will be exactly who God created me to be. I will not allow what my father did, my stepfather did. It doesn't matter what they did to you. Choose to forgive them today. Make the decision to let go and move on. You said, but you don't know what they done to me. I don't know. I don't know. However, I do know that in order for you to walk in peace and victory, you need to forgive. Use your experiences to build you up. Use your experiences to push you to a greater place. I love you. I thank you for joining me today. If you are catching this replay, please put hashtag replay. Uh, please share this video and know that you are great and you were created for greatness. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon.